Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the countdown has begun. We're going to be getting into the game here. VortiX is taking on aTnClouD in the third place match here at the Vasacast Invitational. Map number 1 for this best of 3 showdown is going to be on Ohana. And don't forget, after this best of 3, we're then at, I want to say 2200 hours CET or 9 PM UK time, are going to be going into the best of 5 finals, where VortiX's older brother Lucifron, older brother, is going to be facing off against none other than Roxkiss Fryer. So guys, Ohana currently loading up. Both these players incredibly pumped up and ready to go. This is their last match of the day after all, so they might as well make the most of it. Now we've seen a lot of very solid play come out of both of these players this tournament so far, but I would have to give the edge to VortiX in this particular matchup. But that said, Cloud is sufficiently mechanically good that if he manages to catch VortiX off guard, it's entirely possible for him to grab a couple of games off as well, and all you need are 2 in a row. So this could go either way, guys. It promises to be hopefully quite a close TVZ here. We'll see what happens. Let's get into the game. Welcome to Ohana, ladies and gentlemen. And I just realized I have my sound currently set to 0 because I had the music playing earlier. So here we go. You're going to get in-game sounds. Tasty, tasty. We're here on Ohana and spawning in the top left-hand position. One half of the Spanish Armada defeated by his brother to go into the third place match, but raring to go and as pumped up as ever. One of the strongest foreign Zergs in the world, ladies and gentlemen. We have Caronte Esports, VortiX. And spawning in the bottom right-hand side is the Yellow Terran player. Currently teamless, but my goodness, getting this far into a tournament, I would not be surprised to see someone pick this amazing Terran player up. Also, the local Italian hero. I can actually hear Vasacast go absolutely crazy from here, and I'm several countries away from where he is right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Cloud. Alright guys, so it looks like Cloud is going to be doing something that we saw him do previously in this tournament, and that is attempt to engineering bay block the natural here. But he's done it in such a way that the drone is going to be able to pop out that SCV quite early, so it's not exactly at 90% hit points or anything like that. The SCV going to be going for another quick scout, possibly coming back in to see if he can add a few more hit points to this engineering bay, because if we note quickly, the drone from VortiX is not actually going towards the third base location. So this SCV is just going to get as much of that engineering bay built as possible, and VortiX with the drone just microing it to between the SCV and the engineering bay so that he can more quickly get some damage off if required. In the meantime, it looks like Cloud's actually going to be going command center first, add his wall off out of this as well. Still a fair bit of delay on that. I wonder if we're going to see the SCV come down and possibly block something else. Do we have a second drone going towards a third? No, it's actually just going to be heading to continue taking down this engineering bay. And since there are 2 Zerglings on the way in addition to a Queen, oh, SCV getting very low there, but this engineering bay will shortly have to be blocked off. A barracks completing the wall off here for Cloud to try and prevent any sort of counter pressure. This engineering bay probably has around 20 seconds of life left in it now that the Lings are out on the field, and it will be forced to cancel. In the meantime, VortiX has an Overlord getting in position down the southern side of the map. Engineering bay getting very low, and there we go. Gets cancelled. Hatch promptly gets put down by our Zerg player. We see the first gas now being taken from Cloud. Supply depot finishing up just in time there. SCV going to be heading back into the safety of his own base at 5 hit points. He can now enjoy a comfortable retirement mining minerals, or until a Zergling pops by and kills him in 1 hit. We'll wait and see. First Marine popping out now as the command center is about to finish. It will finish significantly earlier than the hatchery. This was the goal, of course, of what Cloud was doing earlier on in this game, and both of his orbital commands are now coming down simultaneously, so he'll be able to make use of those mules very, very early on in this game. VortiX getting the Overlord in position to come in and scout later. Note that this gas was taken first from Cloud. Possibly because he knows that the space between the main base and the natural is a very popular place for overlords, so if an early scout comes in, he won't be able to see the gas if it was taken here first. But VortiX hasn't actually come into the base yet, so he will be able to see that second gas being taken at the very least when he decides to pop on by. A couple links coming out into the center of the map for VortiX now, and we've just reached the 5.5 minute mark in a couple of seconds time. The worker supply is currently 24 for VortiX versus 22 for Cloud. And in the meantime, we have the reactor going down on the barracks, as well as the factory pop down as well. So Cloud's going to be able to get reacted Hellions out on the field reasonably soon indeed. Those Zerglings are just going to scout out to make sure there aren't any proxy buildings over here at this location. Then he's going to be popping up into the natural. A couple of Marines are going to see to it that they both die, though, unfortunately. No additional scouting information able to be gotten from VortiX, except for the fact that the expansion has been put down. So the bunker is going to complete, and VortiX will have to rely, at least for now, on these overlords if he wants to get any extra scouting information. Meanwhile, though, back in his main base, VortiX is actually going to be going for his lair. He's got it approximately 2/3 of the way complete, nearing the 7-minute mark of this game, and he's going up to all 4 of his gases pretty quickly indeed. So is this going to be faster? Are we going to see potential muta-base play come out of VortiX here on Ohana? Let's wait and see what he ends up doing with that gas. And of course, if we don't actually see a starport follow-up from Cloud. Of course, Muta's very, very good against Banshees as well. And the Overlord is going to pop in at this point and see exactly what's going on. We see 2 tech labs on these barracks and 1 reactor as well. And also a reactor on the factory, and all of this gets scouted by VortiX. This Overlord will be sacrificed, but hopefully not in vain. We've got the 2 Hellions here just sort of chilling out near the watchtower. The Zergling sees exactly where they are and will know when it's popping in. We've got Stim on the way as well, and indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Spire play coming out of VortiX, going for that early layer, going for that early 4 gas, and the Spire is what's going to result. He also has a Baneling Nest, though, in the process being created at the moment. And that is going to allow him to be a bit more flexible against sort of early aggression coming out of Cloud, because it's going to be really frustrating for the Marines to have to deal with that, especially if he gets onto creep. But Cloud is actually going to be skipping the Banshee, going straight into medevac production. So let's see how well this works out against the Muta-based play that VortiX is likely to be popping out here. He's also got the Engineering Bay up and going for that +1 attack. In the meantime, there we go, the Spire completing. Oh yeah, I was zooming in on the Baneling Nest earlier. The Spire about to complete behind the mineral line here at the natural, and the 3rd base also being taken from VortiX right now, and immediately 6 Mutalisks start at the 9-minute mark. Very quick mutas indeed. Cloud has a whole bunch of Hellions, but they haven't really denied much over here. The creep spread has gone all the way to the watchtower now for VortiX. He's taking advantage of these Hellions, not really doing too much damage right now, to spread his creep as far as he possibly can in the hopes of denying as much as possible later on. And we have the Hellions moving in now. VortiX sees this at the watchtower. But the creep is spread so far that the Hellions actually have to stay beyond this place unless they decide to move in and go for a massive attack into the front door. And that looks like exactly what he's going to do right now. We have some Hellions, we have some Marines popping out for him as well, clearing up a couple of creep tumors. Are we going to see a second scan to clear up the creep on the right-hand side as well? No, it looks like he's just going to be going straight into the 3rd. And a lot of Banelings popping out here. The Hellions need to kite them back. A couple of good shots from the Hellions will be able to do good. The Banelings do half-decent damage. The Mutas are going to try and come in here and clean it up. But it looks like Cloud is going to be able to get away with the majority of his Marines and some of the Hellions. He knows he's not able to take down VortiX right now while the Mutas are out on the field. The Hellions are just too exposed. Obviously, the Mutas would be able to pick them up very quickly in mineral lines. And with the presence of Banelings as well, he cannot guarantee the safety of his Marines. In the meantime, Baneling speed, centrifugal hooks coming out for VortiX as well. Cloud has a couple of missile turrets popping up in his main base to try and fend off these Mutalisks. Does successfully do so in very forward locations to try and protect some of his tech as well. The Mutas coming in, desperately trying to do a bit of damage. I would not be surprised if we saw maybe trying to pick off something like a reactor on the starport or something. That could be a target for some sort of harassment. But otherwise, there's a decent amount of defense going up everywhere for Cloud right now. Missile turret between these 2 gas geysers as well. And here come the Mutas, going to be hopping back possibly around the turrets into the main base. Is that where he's trying to go? No, he's actually moving back right now. So we'll keep an eye on where they're going on the mini-map in just a bit. In the meantime, the infestation pit is going to be going down for VortiX here. 1-1 is approximately halfway complete for his melee attacks, as well as that +1 armor as well. Third base up and mining very, very comfortably right now. The worker supply is currently 74 for VortiX to 58 of Cloud. So VortiX doing a really, really good job here of macroing up, and he sees that the Overlord has gone down at the third base location. So the mutas know exactly what's going on. He's going to try and deny this third base from Cloud as much as possible. But the orbital command is not being built. In fact, it is already built and will be able to just float over. So as long as some missile turrets get built, which we can see them being queued up now, he should be in no massive problem. VortiX is going to be taking this fourth base over here, which can be quite vulnerable to a little bit of an attack later on. Let's see what happens here. Trying to pick up the Hellions, unable to do so because of the presence of the Marines there, and the scan does end up picking up a couple of additional creep tumors. There are a lot of Banelings, though, with this army composition right now, and if Cloud goes in, he is indeed going into the fourth base. Yes, we're going to split the Banelings, so this army is going to get hit from two different angles. Where is he going to kite the Marines to? Banelings from the front, Banelings from the back, and VortiX getting an excellent engagement off on a lot of this army. Only a couple of Marines left, and the mutas will be able to start picking apart here medevacs, and that is very, very crucial at this stage of the game. Another medevac going down. Only 2 left on the field right now. The Marauder's getting taken out as well. And between the Lings and these Mutalisks, I think VortiX will be able to clean up this army. 103 supply to 97 in VortiX's favor, but cleaning up these medevacs was a huge deal for him. The worker supply now 73 to 62, and VortiX can feel pretty comfortable with that, as well as the fourth base comfortably getting up. The hive is also being simultaneously made inside the main base. Cloud's attack has been completely thwarted here, and he is being pushed back to his own watchtower with only 3 medevacs left out on the field. His third base, though, is up and mining. The turret ring has been made. Maybe another one out here would be good in case the mutas come from directly above, but the ramp is not too far from his natural, so hopefully he wouldn't take too much damage if harassment occurred there. A single speedling just going to be checking out to make sure that Cloud is still at his watchtower, and of course he still is. As he continues to mix a decent amount of bio into this army, he's got 2-1 upgrades already done, and 3-2 is on the way. So a reasonably quick 3-3 coming out here for Cloud, and 2-2 is only halfway done for VortiX, so he's definitely at least a single upgrade ahead at all times. 1 medevac getting loaded up. It looks like that's going to become a drop possibly in the main base around this location a bit later. VortiX has his Overlord spread in a decent position to spot the drops early. I'd like to see one more Overlord here just to see if he can spot it a bit earlier, but really that's just preference, and we actually have Mutalisks patrolling here now, so they are going to be able to catch a dropship. That should be fine indeed. Scouting factory coming around to the fourth base location, and we have a little bit of an offensive here from VortiX. He's going to try and take the watchtower, and oh my god, that Marauder is not having a good day. Complete disaster there, as and watch this dropship. It's popping into the path, directly into the path of 4 Mutalisks. What is going to happen here? Okay, he's going to drop at the 5th base location by the looks of things, so that hatchery is going to get cancelled. The mutas probably don't want to engage because they can stim, and there is a medevac there as well, but they will be able to catch this dropship if it decides to go into the main base, and it is! Here come the Mutalisks. The medevac is at half health, at a quarter health now, and the medevac is going to go down. There it goes, but most of the Marines do actually get dropped here. In the meantime, we have a little bit of push out in the center of the map, and the infestors from VortiX are actually getting caught by Cloud here, who has taken approximately 20 lead in supply. The drop in the main is going to get taken out, but now we have a big attack from Cloud against the 4th base location. It's 78 to 65 in terms of worker supply, and nice fungals there from VortiX. Decent splitting as well from Cloud, but there are so many Banelings. It's very hard to split from all of them at once. This small group of Marines and Marauders aren't actually being healed by the medevacs right now, and the zones are going to be able to clean the rest of it out. Where are the Mutalisks? Do we have for the medevacs? No, we don't. So every single medevac is going to get away at this time. In the meantime, a 4th and a 5th command center going down now for Cloud at his 3rd base location, so he will be able to expand with one and possibly just use the other one for mules. Another attack coming in towards the 4th base. The infestors being kept in reserve right now. Adrenal glands nearly complete for VortiX as well, and he's got 7 corruptors on the way to deal with the medevacs. That's going to be pretty good indeed. A good fungal growth on the first pack of Marines, but he is running out of units that the infestors are there to support. He has a lot of infestors, but he needs those ground units to tank for them effectively while the fungals and the infested Terrans do their work. He's going to be able to hold this off for now, but look at the units streaming in. He needs something a bit beefier than this, and that's why 18 Zerglings are currently on the way. He's buying time for those Broodlords to pop out. 4 of them are now in production. The Greater Spire, of course, complete. And here they are at the third base location, but the fourth base looks like it's going to go down. This sustained pressure from Cloud will successfully take out this hatchery from VortiX. What can VortiX do on the counter, though? Broodlords and Infestors out on the field. Broodlords not in terrifically large numbers just yet, though, but they are going to be supported by 2/2 Zerglings with Adrenal Gland upgrades as well, which is going to be incredibly useful for him. 3/2, meanwhile, here for Cloud with a +3 armor on the way, and he's also getting... air weapons level 1 as well, which means his Vikings will be able to do extra damage to those Broodlords and hopefully take them out of the equation very, very quickly indeed. Moving his bio out into the middle of the map now just to check out what the Zerg has. Both sides have reasonably scary armies, but VortiX looks like he's going to be moving forward, and he is happy to accept this engagement. Some Broodlings initially targeting down the bio. The factory driver is still being slightly suicidal on the edge of creep here, and he's actually moving up through the fourth base location. The Infestor's completely uncontested there, and the Cloud is going to have to fall back or choose his engagement a little bit wisely, because the Broodlords are now coming in from behind, using this high ground location very excellently indeed, and there aren't any Vikings with this army composition at the moment. So I feel that this could potentially go very well for VortiX. And the Broodlings, oh, excellent fungal growths on the bio army, and the Broodlings are going to be able to clean up here. The medevacs are healing quite a lot, but the problem is the DPS from the Zerg army is just too strong, and Cloud is definitely not going to win this particular engagement. The medevacs are effectively all that is left. There's a single Viking here trying to take, two Vikings trying to take out a Broodlord, manages to get one, but the entire ground army of our Terran player has just been taken out. Alright, so Cloud regrouping here. He managed to keep the rest of his medevacs, which is a big deal. Imagine if these were fungal growthed off with 2 or 3 fungals and these medevacs died. That would be actually a huge loss for our Terran player, but that hasn't happened right now. And as it currently stands, he has a modest supply lead over VortiX. He's around 163 to 143. VortiX still has the worker supply advantage, but Cloud has not been allowing him to get up to his desired composition. And by taking apart these Broodlords so early, he might be able to do a lot more than just that. The Corrupt is also getting taken down one at a time, effectively, which means these Vikings really do rule the skies at the moment, and all 4 of these Broodlords could go down here. And if that happens, Cloud might just be able to roll in with the bio and win the game. Infestor going down as well, and VortiX actually down to 120 supply. Cloud looking in good position to take game number 1 at this point. GG from VortiX, and Cloud, ladies and gentlemen, wins game number 1.